Hello and welcome to the From the Finney podcast with me, Jake.
Me, Ollie.
And me, Dan.
Transfer window slammed shut today, so we're going to go over what has been, for the most part, a pretty underwhelming window. And Dan is back. How do you, lads? Good to have you both back. You all right?
Not bad.
I think I've missed what, 2 in a row now. So
2 in a row, but to be fair, one was completely unplanned. It was an impromptu pod.
Yeah, one was unplanned, and third time lucky you back tonight, Dan, for another unplanned one.
I had a good time in New York. Got the
Not much went down, did it?
No, I just got engaged.
Congratulations, mate.
Just thought I'd mention it.
Congrats.
So while I was away, I mean, the day I left, was the day we announced Bayless, I think.
When was that, Tuesday or no?
Yeah, no, it was
last Friday, was it? Yeah, last Friday.
Yeah.
And then it's been a week
since.
No, a week since then, and absolute radio silence.
Yeah.
So
very disappointing.
Very, very disappointing. I think I've not been this disappointed ever with any
with anything.
With anything ever in my life, ever in my whole life.
I mentioned on Twitter.
We weren't already aware Ollie lives and breathes North End, clearly.
Yeah, even worse than like failing my A-levels and stuff. Like
failed your A-levels?
Well, I failed my German, but this is way more annoying. So I'm actually fuming. And to be fair, I normally back the club on Twitter and stuff. But
yeah, I see that message from you before in the group chat when you're like, do you know what, I'm actually pissed off. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I'm boycotting the game. I'm boycotting the game this weekend.
Yeah, take out Peter.
Yeah, I'm not taking any shit from Trev now. I'm boycotting. So I'll be back as soon as I possibly can be. Oh.
Yeah. Well, let's start with the window as a whole then. A little bit of an overview, if you will. Obviously, we've actually managed to bring in 4 players.
3.5 players, I'd say.
Well, yeah. Patrick Bauer, Tom Bayliss, Andre Green, and obviously the one everyone knows, David Nugent.
Yeah. Well, we started with Bauer quite early, didn't we?
Yeah, from Charlton on a free.
On a free, yeah. Start of June, maybe. Middle of June.
Yeah.
Very positive signing. Beat a few clubs to him. And to be fair, when we've seen him, he's looked very solid. He was good last week, weren't he?
It was an early signing. It was a really good start.
Yeah, it was. It was a real.
And then this could be a good one. But
yeah, sort of the age and the profile. I thought this could be the first of like 5 or 6. So
yeah, I think that's the thing. Like the window started so well. It was very, very, very positive. Like everyone on Twitter was. There was an air of optimism about North End Twitter and fans in general, to be honest.
I think it's because it came as well when the LEP started saying all this about experience and all that.
Yeah.
And it went in like coincided with that, and people probably thought there's gonna be 5 or 6 big signings like that.
Mm. Well, experience was the key word, wasn't it? Neil was mentioning it.
Yeah, if you go through the LEP, I reckon there's since sort of June, I'd say there's probably been like 10, 15 separate articles talking about experience.
Mm.
And Neil saying he wants players who've played at this level and stuff.
Yeah.
But
well, from what we know about the LEP, it was definitely the club's plan, I think.
Yeah.
But they just seem to have blocked themselves, if anything.
Yeah,
it's weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the actual timing's weird, because if you look at Bauer, that was done fairly early, but then it was 6 weeks until Nugent came in after that, I think.
Yeah, it was.
So what you've got to wonder what we've been doing for them 6 weeks in the middle. But if you isolate Bauer, I still think it's a very good signing.
Yeah, no, it is. I think it's like we said, it started in probably the most positive way.
Yeah.
Then obviously Nugent came in. I think you strip it back and you look at it for what it is. I take out the nostalgia side of things, and
it's a signing for the fans, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't want to go too much into Nugent because we'll talk about him in a little bit more detail later on. But then it was again a few weeks after that there was just nothing. There was plenty of talk.
Yeah.
And obviously we had Bayliss and Green within less than 12 hours of each other.
Yeah, I mean, Robbo was sold, wasn't he, around the time Nugent came in?
Yeah. Was it
and
just before?
It was literally a couple of days out, I think, yeah.
Yeah.
And then the LEP again stated that would sort of trigger incoming activity. And it's just not happened, has it, really? Bayliss and Green, I think, are two good signings again.
Bayliss is a superb signing. I'm saying partially as a Coventry follower, because of my 4 years at uni there. I've watched him develop a fair bit. He's a really good kid.
Said in the pod the other week that I knew next to nothing about him. But from what I've read and what I've been told, like by you two and other people, definitely seems like he's got bags of potential, and that he's not. I wouldn't even say one for the future. He's one for right now.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. I think it's a very exciting signing.
I think in a couple of years, if we haven't sold him yet, he'll be our best player.
Yeah, he's sort of a long term. Well, it might not even be long term, but he's going to provide what Galley does. But he's 12. Well, he's 14 years younger. So.
Thought you were going to say he's 12. Then I was like,
no. He's only 20. He's a young lad though, but I think he'll make an impact pretty much straight away. He's one of them who's not going to take time to bed in. I don't think too much.
No, I don't think he will. We've got quite a young squad on the whole as well, so I think that'd help him settle in.
Playing alongside Pearson as well.
It's not like he's going to be the youngster in a big team. He might have been if we'd done what we'd said we were going to do in the window and signed a lot of experienced players. But yeah,
just hasn't turned out that way, has it?
Yeah, and Andre Green, I quite like as a player. I don't think many people have actually seen him play that much.
I will reserve judgment because I've not seen a lot of him at all, apart from the playoff.
He likes to attack. He likes to attack the box. He's quick. He takes up good positions as well, so I think he'll be a decent signing.
Another one I'm excited to see him, but for me at the minute, he's maybe a little bit of an unknown quantity. But
a bit underwhelming considering we sold Robbo for $8 million.
Yeah.
And also, it's not just Robinson, it's Barker's gone, Robinson and Nemecha, who played 40 games. And the only attackers have been Nugent and Green. So it's a bit disappointing when you just look at numbers and quality.
Yeah.
Well, in the bounce game the other night, Green moved up front for the second half, which, I mean...
I said at the time, I think that was more due to circumstances.
Yeah.
Well, Nugent only played 45, didn't he? So
Nugent came off with a tight calf. Neil said in the interview he did somewhere. Stockley had just played at Millwall. Maguire had just played, and it looked like Malt was going to leave. So literally no one else was available up front. So I think that's all it was.
Do you not think I prefer to use Andre Green as like a striker rather than use Louis Malt?
Maybe, but he's never played there in his life, Andre Green. But the thing about Malt is he's just never going to feature, is he? Anyway.
No, you got a feel for the lad, don't you? It's not.
Yeah,
it's not his fault.
I feel for him, but he's just not good enough.
No, that's what I mean. It's not his fault he was brought in.
He had a fair crack at the whip. I've seen people say he's not had a chance and all that as well, but he's been here for 18 months. He's played
a fair bit.
He's played enough. Yeah. You can tell when someone makes an impact and someone doesn't, can't you? So he's just...
Yeah.
So I don't know. The thing about Green, I wouldn't read too much into, but...
I think the other thing about people saying that players haven't had a fair crack of the whip, Josh Harrop seems to be one that people seem to think hasn't had a fair crack of the whip, but he's played like 46 games for us.
He played the majority of the season before last.
Yeah, and to be fair, like 31 of those 46 were substitute appearances, but for people to say that he's not had a fair crack of the whip, I'd say that he has.
I think the more important thing that people forget is that they train 4 times a week as well.
Yeah.
And I've been down to training.
The coaching staff see a lot more than we do.
Yeah, when I've been down to training and Neil does tactical stuff, if you don't understand it, you're not going to start games. If you don't buy into it.
Yeah.
And that probably goes back to what we talked about his favourites again. So I think tactical rigidness is very important. Maybe Harrop doesn't have that. Maybe Malt can't do what he wants from his striker as well.
Yeah, I suspect there's an element of that.
Well, the bottom line is we haven't really brought in players who are probably going to be much better, which is disappointing.
The next point that we've got is an odd one to me, to be honest. Josh Earl going out on loan and him going out without us having anyone in prior to it, considering he was our only real option as any kind of backup to Andrew Hughes. And I've said it in the past that we need to move away from being a club that resorts to square pegs in round holes, if you will. And I think it was today or yesterday, Neil's mentioned about we've got Rafferty and Fisher that can cover there.
The thing is, he's got to say that, I suppose. But
of course he does, because he's got players.
Neil will be fuming.
Anybody else in, he's got to come up with something, hasn't he?
Yeah, Neil will be fuming with that. What we've done is we've let like an attacking young left back go out on loan, and his replacement is our 4th choice right back from January.
I mean, the one thing you can always say about North End, if nothing else, is that we always seem to be organised and competent. And letting Josh Earl go out on loan before we had a replacement lined up is absolutely incompetent, in my opinion. I think
it's incompetent.
It's left us massively in the lurch.
It's embarrassing, really. I don't know how that can happen.
And to rub salt in the wound, the poor lad got injured.
Yeah, it's literally a shambles.
What's he out for? 2 months?
12 weeks, I think it was.
Yeah, 3 months, I think. But I don't know what happened with Max Lowe, because he's not ended up going anywhere. I don't know if the Scottish window's shut or not, but he's not gone to. I think I saw Celtic mentioned, but
for Lowe?
For Max, yeah. But you'd have thought to allow Josh Earl to go on loan, they would have been very close to signing someone.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's just if that isn't the case, then it just smacks of. It's just weird behaviour.
Yeah, it's very strange. And you can't imagine Neil allowing that to happen. So I don't know. But
I think the other thing that frustrates me about it is that we won't get any answers because no one will ask questions. The press won't ask questions. It'll come up at the next fans forum, which will probably be in I don't know, around Christmas sometime maybe.
Yeah, and they'll just talk around it, won't they? Like they always do.
John Kay will come out with some shite like he always does.
Yeah.
And we'll just get.
They'll say we had irons in the fire, but could get none of them over the line.
Yeah, and we'll just get fobbed off.
Yeah. That's another thing. Jake Bidwell rejected us a few weeks ago, so it wasn't just like a out of the blue thing.
Swansea.
Yeah, it wasn't just an out of the blue thing though, like a last minute spur of the moment thing. So
it's clearly something that they've been trying to get done for a few weeks. So then again, to let Earl go out on loan, it just seems.
Unless it's come from Earl's side that is demanding to go out on loan.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Which,
I mean, looking at how active his dad is on social media and stuff like that, you wouldn't be surprised by it.
Yeah, I can understand both points of view, but from the club, it's incompetent. That's what it is. And if Hughes gets injured, then you're talking about probably moving Fisher to left back, putting Clark in at right back, so you completely unbalance the back four.
Yeah.
Because when the back four's fit, it's quite a strong back four. But as soon as you take one player away, you got to shift 2 or 3 around. Just upsets the whole balance of it. Hughes could get injured on Saturday for 6 months.
Well, he nearly got sent off on Saturday, just gone.
Yeah, should have been sent off.
He should have been sent off, yeah. He was lucky not to have been sent off, to be honest.
So, to allow that to happen is... You can't imagine any other club in the league allowing that to happen. So, it's very frustrating. And I'm sure, obviously, what Neil said today is what he had to say. But I'm sure he's fuming as well.
I would imagine.
Well, there's nothing else to say. I mean, if you knew that you weren't getting another left back to cover, the only thing you could do is list your various right-sided fullbacks as
that's all you can do, innit? Or you can say we'll go to a 3 at the back and play a wing back. But it's it's daft. It's just a daft, weird situation.
And if that was to be the case, I don't really see a system like that suiting us, to be honest.
Who would play left-sided wing back?
Me neither.
Who would
play there?
Who would play? If we did move to 3 at the back, who'd play left-sided wing back?
Exactly. So I was thinking DJ, you know.
Or maybe Barkey.
Or Barkey, yeah. Another thing I'd say is I think DJ. This sounds strange, but I think DJ would be used ahead of Rafferty at left back.
Just because he's left-footed.
Pretty much, and he's athletic. And
what about Ben Davis? He's an option.
See, this crossed my mind as well, and the last thing I want to see is Ben Davis move back to left back and have 2 right-sided centre backs.
No, the way Neil plays, I don't think it'd happen. I think DJ is a lot likelier.
No, I don't agree with you on that one, to be honest. But I suppose we'll see what happens. So, one of the signings that has come in, obviously, in the summer, which I think appeased some fans, like I said before, from a nostalgia point of view, was David Nugent. But it shouldn't have been allowed that he was our only striking option brought in, because I think we're going to see little goal return from him. Arguably, his legs have gone. And you could just quite simply say that he's past it.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying.
Yeah.
He's a mascot.
Basically.
We're paying probably almost 10k a week for a mascot.
And he'll have maybe sold a few hundred shirts, but I doubt it'll be anywhere near a week's wage for him.
No. It's still hard to get my head around that one. Obviously, it makes sense from the club's perspective. But I can't imagine Alex Neil ever wanting to do something like that. That's not how Alex Neil works. And he's injured, isn't he? Well, he's not fit to play games yet.
No, I mean, if you're playing,
he's still getting to speed.
Just getting
a minute.
5 minutes in a bounce game, then
he got 45, but he came off because he was.
Yeah,
tight.
it'll be a while. He said he tightened up, didn't he?
Yeah, so that appears to me more a Trevor Hemmings signing, especially when Hemmings was out at it Fylde we went to, Jake, and Nugent was there.
Yeah.
Hemmings made a special appearance.
So that's to Trev.
So that's max to me of Alex Neil not having much to do about that. And when he's fit as well, it's hard to see where Nugent even features.
Yeah, because you can't see him ploughing the middle
up front. There's
on his own.
2, arguably 3 ahead of him. Maybe in off the left, but
no way.
A lot ahead of him.
Honestly, the only way I can see him playing is in a 2, but
sort of a last 20 thing up front.
Yeah.
Jason. Yeah, that may be when he scores the odd goal, but you just need more, especially as you say, it's the only striker we've brought in. You just need so much more. Again, I can't see many other clubs in the league signing someone like that and as their only striker.
No. Well, you maybe not based off last season, but down the season before, could argue that we were quite similar to Derby. Obviously, they finished 2 points above us the season before.
Yeah, 1 point, weren't it?
1 point.
It was 1 or 2,
yeah.
I don't want to make a mistake for someone listening. I think it was.
But they only just finished above us. And they've let him go. and we've signed him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's pretty much it.
We're taking scraps from our rivals.
Yeah, basically. How can you say that we're competing with teams like that when we're signing their cast-offs?
Yeah, exactly.
All you've got to do is take the fact that he played for us however many years ago away, and then see if it's a good signing or not.
Yes. In that respect.
Well, it's evident that it's not.
I don't think it is, no.
Like I think we said in when we talked about him coming in the first time, I think we said about he'd scored 2 goals last season.
Yeah.
If it was any other striker other than David Nugent that we brought in that scored 2 goals, there'd have been absolute uproar on social media.
Even when we were linked with Fraser Campbell, who scored 12, people were saying, "Oh, it's past it."
Yeah.
And it just makes you laugh.
And I'm almost gutted about us not signing him as I am gutted about us not signing the keeper, to be honest.
The keeper thing, yeah, that's killed me. That's the keeper thing.
Yeah.
To be honest, I'm so disappointed about that.
Bad do.
Yeah.
But the thing is, imagine how
it's clear we needed a keeper since October last year.
Yeah, I mean, not just that, but Neil's demanded one since May.
Yeah.
3 months. And Millwall, we played Millwall on Saturday. Frank Fielding got injured. They've signed a keeper today in less than a week.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a very good, Luke Steele. He's not a very good keeper, but they've still gone out and signed a keeper.
Equivalent of us signing Ripley, that probably.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he could, he's not very good, but he could go in, completely change of scenery, and there's nothing to say that he can't get off to a good start and have a decent season. And I think the fact is with Rudd at the minute, he's just in this rut of just shite after shite, basically.
Yeah.
And people, he'll pull off one good save, and people point to that, and that will be enough for them to be like, no, he's good enough. He's gonna, he's gonna do what we need him to do. And
that's the thing. I have a habit of using my dad as an example.
Yes, you do.
But
it's a good job he don't listen.
The Newcastle game, he went, "Oh yeah, but that penalty was a great save."
No,
this is what confuses me. I mean,
went in.
He's a professional goalkeeper. His job is to save football shots.
Yeah.
Football shots.
What football shots? When he makes a save, don't act like.
That's the first time I've ever heard anything that.
I'm keeping it simple. When he makes a save, we shouldn't be applauding him for making a save that he should make.
I
just don't understand.
It's his job. No one applauds the postman for posting a letter through your letterbox.
Yeah, I did this morning, to be fair, because I was desperate for some mail. But the thing is, imagine how Rudd feels now and Ripley feels now. Like, they both know that we've wanted to bring a keeper in for 3 months.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when Rudd makes a mistake at the weekend? Is Ripley going to come in the next game? And then what happens when Ripley makes a mistake?
Just going to rotate them each time one of them makes an absolute howler.
And this is why we needed a number one, an actual number one.
He had a point of doing that with Maxwell and Rudd, didn't he, last season?
He's done it all his managerial career.
I think it's why Rudd left him in the first place, or he sacked Rudd off anyway.
Yeah, this is one of my only gripes with Neil, and I've said it before. It's the handling of the keeper thing. Now, it's not his fault. It's not his fault we've not brought in a keeper, but his handling of the Rudd and Maxwell situation was pretty shambolic. And now the Ripley and Rudd thing again.
And he seems to have a big effect on player morale, especially with goalkeepers.
Yeah, goalkeeper's a unique position. You just can't be doing what's happened for the last couple of seasons. So it's just a disaster waiting to happen. That now in that it's just an absolute disaster. And that's why I said in my piece last week, if we don't sign a keeper, you can write off top 6. So I'm pretty much writing off top 6.
Yeah, I think we have to.
Well, I mean, funnily enough, I'm going to be the most positive. I don't think we'll write it off until nothing happens in the first couple of weeks of January. If nothing happens first couple of weeks of January,
I mean,
bringing in a good keeper,
then
maybe we've still got a chance if we have a push like we did last year.
Imagine if Rudd signs a new contract.
Not a chance.
I'm physically ill.
Same chance as Michael Crowe signing a new contract. Absolutely no chance.
Do we still have Michael Crowe?
Yeah, there's more chance of me signing a contract with North End than Michael Crowe.
He's knocking about. But yeah, shambolic situation. Shambolic.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, before we finish on that, that's the thing that's really annoyed me the most. Because I was told in May that Neil was desperate to sign a number one. And I don't see how you can go 3 months and not sign a goalkeeper.
There must have been numerous targets as well.
Of course. I wouldn't be surprised if there was double figures of targets.
That's the most frustrating thing.
Because when we didn't sign Muric, which we thought was done, we thought it was just a signature to get on Muric. What happens after that? You go on to your second choice, and then third, fourth, and then obviously I think we inquired for Freddie Woodman, who went to Swansea.
Yeah.
Fraser Forster on £70,000 a week. Was that ever going to happen?
No.
So what have we been doing? There's plenty of keepers out there. Even the lad that Dan's on about from Watford, he's gone nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dahlberg.
Yeah, just take him. Just take anyone from the Premier League. The lad from Bournemouth went to
Mark Travers.
No, there was another lad. They had two young goalkeepers. Oh. Travers has been kept around, but they had another lad who's gone to the Championship this week. So literally every single club has signed a keeper. Every club's needed a keeper, and we've just not signed one.
Even Luton have spent more money than us this summer, and that was on a keeper.
Yeah. So that's really got to me, that keeper thing. And you just know what's going to happen on Saturday. You just know there's going to be a Rudd Haller on Saturday.
Yeah, more than likely. So the final thing then before we go on to a break, and I think this is another one that'll probably be a bit of a stickler for a lot of people, is in the last, 2.5 seasons, we brought in close to, if not more than £20 million from outgoing player sales with Hugill, Cunningham and Robinson.
Yeah.
All right, we've spent money. Story looks decent. Potts looks decent. But outside of that, Rafferty, Ripley and Giannelli are all big, massive question marks. And at the moment seem like largely pointless signings.
Yeah.
Stockley's just... he's a good finisher. He's looked like he can maybe influence a game a little bit in and around the box, but for the most part, he doesn't affect a game.
I got a bit of stick about this actually a few months ago. The
Millwall game last week is a prime example.
It's not even that, Jake. It's just going back since February when he started playing. I think it was, we were chatting actually. Do you remember Middlesbrough away?
Yeah.
And I was chatting shit about Stockley because he just doesn't affect games. And then I think he scored 2 minutes later.
Came on as a sub, didn't he?
Yeah, but even as early as then, he just doesn't affect things. And if you buy, especially with strikers or attackers, if you buy cheap, you'll buy 2, 3, 4, 5 attackers. So it's the same old story. Hugo went 18 months ago, and no one can tell me he's been adequately replaced.
I mean, we signed Stockley for literally 10 times less than we sold Hugo for.
Yeah.
Oh.
1/10 of the price, pretty much, is what Dan's saying.
When you think about it, it's not good enough.
Maths isn't my strong point, boys.
And you can't sell
like Stockley the most out of the three of us.
Say again.
I probably like Stockley the most out of the three of us, and
I don't get what he's shown though. I don't get what he's shown in general play. He doesn't offer anything for me. He just I said we haven't replaced Hugo, which we haven't. But even Nemecha last season, I know people didn't like him for some reason, but he offered so much more in general play. And he's gone, so we didn't replace Hugo. We got Nemecha, and now we've not replaced Nemecha. In terms of physicality and physical profile, that's the most important thing for a striker.
And we haven't sold our top scorer. We have sold our top scorer from last season. but we haven't replaced our top scorer from last season. Obviously, Robinson's gone to Sheffield United for close to £8 million, £7 million, something like that, and it just feels like he's just not being backed one bit.
100%.
There's annoying trends at Preston when you think about it. Last 2 years, both years, we've sold our top scorer from the year before and not replaced them.
Yeah.
Generally, anytime we lose a player who's been highly influential for us, we generally don't replace them very well.
Yeah, but this is the annoying thing for me.
The only player we've lost recently who we've replaced even half adequately is Cunningham.
Yeah, I'd agree. I was going to say Hughes. But you can't sell in this market and then refuse to buy in the same market.
Yeah.
No other club is doing it now. Even today, Ivan Toney, £4 million rejected. You can't sell Hugo for 10 million and then only be prepared to buy League Two's top scorer. You just can't.
Money in football's getting ridiculous, and we can't keep blaming the crowd size we get on the money we spend. Because who was it who had the £4 million? It was Barnsley, was it?
No, it was Charlton.
Charlton. They are not bringing in that kind of gate receipt or merchandise sale.
They're an absolute shambles of a club.
In hell. So, like, people on Twitter I've discussed it with occasionally have said, well, we're not filling Deepdale every week, so we can't pay these prices.
So what? Charlton half the league aren't filling the grounds every week.
Charlton are nowhere near filling the Valley every week. And they're still bunging $4 million on fucking Ivan Toney, and we're just not keeping up. And honestly, fans are running out of excuses.
Yeah, well, there's some staunch fans who'll never shift, and
I'll tell you now,
you got to commend them for that.
There's some fans on Twitter who are paid by the club. I'm telling you right now.
I know for a fact there is. I've been in a meeting with Ben Rhodes and Hannah, the media girl.
What? And they get paid?
They've outright said to me that maybe not that they get paid, but they've got what was the word that you used? We've got people who basically alluded to the fact that they've got people that peddle like a message, if you will, from the club to try and keep things.
I had a conversation with one of them yesterday, and they were trying to dispute that. I said we sold Robinson for 8 million. I know for a fact Alex Neil wanted Ashley Hunter, and I think they wanted about 2 million. And you've got to spend that. You've just got to. You've just got to go out 25% reinvested. Like, we can't get to a stage now where we can't afford Fleetwood's winger.
Stupid.
It's just a dangerous situation.
Like you said, you can't partly take part in a market where people are going for millions and millions, and then just think that you can continue to buy it. Probably what is not even a League One level anymore.
Yeah,
League One's probably getting close to going past the level of spending that we are currently at.
Rejecting £4 million for their strikers.
Yeah, and that's funny because the other day I was saying we should go and sign Toney because I thought it'd be around 2-3 mil, but 4 mil.
I can't believe Exeter accepted less than 1.5 for Stockley.
That was his release clause, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, he was released.
750, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Get slagged off by people again for getting something wrong.
Yeah, but if he didn't have a release clause, I think they would have been looking at north of $1 million, wouldn't they? But still, the thing is, would you rather buy Malt, Stockley, bring in Nugent, etc., or would you rather just go and sign Kiefer Moore for 2 million, or do you know what I mean? Sign Ivan Toney for 4 million.
No-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Saturday's game will finish 1-0 to Wigan, and it'll be Rudd spilling a Kiefer Moore shot into the back of his own net.
Well, that's pretty much what I alluded to in the match preview. I said, you know what's going to happen with Kiefer Moore.
Yeah.
You just know what's going to happen. And he's a good player, and he gets into positions, and he's mobile. And
he's a lot more than a target man.
Yeah.
Which is something else that annoys me. People, you talk about bringing the likes of like Hugo back, and we've got Stockley. Right, what's your point?
Yeah.
Completely different players.
Very different. It's so different.
They don't move for a start.
Yeah. So the striker thing it's a worry for now because we've got to go to January with Maguire as the main option, and then Stockley, and then wherever Malt fits in, and obviously Nugent. But more long term.
That's if Maguire makes it to January.
For me, I'm sort of past that now because he's been fit since January and he looks fine.
He got through pre-season without.
Yeah, to me, I'm sort of over that. But I see what you're saying.
Surely it's got to be a worry though. Still,
I think
slight worry.
There's always gonna be that lingering doubt. But I think what also held him up in his first 18 months was the hangover of the transition from the Irish schedule to ours.
Probably, yeah. Yeah, and I think it's being managed a lot better now by his country and probably by us.
Yeah.
So I'm not too concerned about that. But if he did, touch wood, if he did get injured, obviously I hope he doesn't. But then you'd be so worried.
Yeah.
Because you'd be going with Stockley and Malt as your two options. In that situation,
stays here.
Yeah, in that situation, I'm pretty sure Barkey would be used up front ahead of the likes of Malt and probably Nugent, which goes back to his favourites again, unfortunately.
Mm. Yeah, well,
and let's
not go over old ground with that.
Yeah. Another thing is we've also lost a striking option with Robinson as well.
Yeah.
Because in certain games he played as like a deep playing forward, and it works quite well. So you've lost another little option there. So to not bring in a proper striker, we've brought in a mascot. We've not brought in a proper striker.
Just I don't know. I don't know what to say, which isn't good for a podcast. So let's call that one.
Sound.
Cool. Cheers, boys.
Welcome back to part 2 from the Finney podcast. We're going to talk about the season ahead now because we did a piece a couple of weeks ago. Everyone's saying the predictions for the season ahead. So obviously it might have changed in the last few days. But Jake, what are you saying for the season ahead now?
I'm still going to try and remain slightly on the positive side. I had us down for 8th, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll be that high up, but I think maybe top half, maybe our favourite position, 11th.
Yeah. Why? Why? Just not enough quality.
Yeah, I mean, all the issues that we've covered in part 1, to be honest, it's glaringly obvious where we needed to strengthen. Don't get me wrong, do deals like the Bayless deal and bring Nugent in if you're going to bring other players in that position where we need to strengthen, because Nugent coming in isn't strengthening the forward line.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think we've got the quality in depth that we need, which is frustrating.
Yeah, Dan, what are you saying?
I know I was optimistic but reserved, I think, in the original prediction, but that hinged on me naively assuming that we would actually sign a keeper. So now, I think in the group chat before I said between 13th to 16th,
lower mid-table kind of thing.
Yeah, lower mid-table probably. I'll hedge and say 13 optimistically. 13th.
Yeah, I did that piece last week.
As the squad stands.
Yeah,
if we have a strong January, as I said before, I don't completely think we're out of the shout of top 6. But it has to be a strong early January.
Yeah, I did. That piece last week was very positive because what I'd heard was they were quite confident of bringing in 3 more at the time, but I just can't look past the goalkeeping issue now.
Yeah. Same.
So we're a striker short, we're a left back short, and we're short of a competent goalkeeper. So if you add them together, you can't really expect too much. But I'll just go through the squad: Bauer, Story, Davis, Fisher, Hughes, Clark, Pearson, Potts, Brown, Galley, Bayliss, Harrop, Barkey, Maguire, Bowden. There's a core there of a very strong squad. But that's just so frustrating. If you add 2-3 quality players, then I'd be quite confident, which is what I thought would happen.
Yeah.
So I'll stick to around 10th. But as you say, Dan, if say in Jan we're sort of 6 points, 2-3 wins off the playoffs, then we might go for it. But it's so frustrating to have not gone for it now.
I've no doubt that we'll do something in January.
Yeah, we need to now.
Just because I'm going off past seasons that we always do.
Yeah.
But like you just said, it's annoying because there's been the last 2 summers, I would argue, that have been prime opportunities that we should have jumped on, backed the manager, brought in the targets that he's wanted, and give it a real good go from the start of the season instead of getting into a shite position and panicking.
Yeah, 100%.
What's ridiculous is the fact that everybody, including most fans of most clubs, have been quite vocal about how big a chance this season is and how open the Championship's going to be. And you'd think every other club has been visibly quite aware of that by the business they've gone around doing. We seem to be the only club that hasn't really tried to take advantage.
Yeah. Well, like Ollie not alluded to, his whole piece was about how this was essentially as good probably the best chance we're going to get in a long time to capitalise on what could potentially be an overall weakened league.
Yeah, I think because of the managers and all that, and because of there's been a lot of signings made, but a lot of unknown signings. So I'd say only us really, and Hull, and maybe Charlton, even though they've done a bit of good business, haven't really gone for it. You look at stuff like Brentford, Bristol, even Birmingham in the last few days.
Yeah.
Reading, Sheffield Wednesday have done good stuff. Literally, the last 3 or 4 days has been manic, and clubs have been signing quality players.
It's like we've just been sat watching everybody else.
Well, you just wonder how we just given up.
While his house burns down.
Yeah.
That's been us in the last few days.
You just wonder what's happened after the Millwall game. If we've simply just given up. Because you would hear if they were trying to get people in. So I don't know. But it's very frustrating. And
there haven't even been rumours.
No, that's what I mean. Like, the only thing I'd say is this similar thing happened last summer. And you've just got to hope that the negativity now doesn't expand into 10 games like it did last season. Because you need points on the board.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be surprised if it did, though, would you?
No, I wouldn't be surprised.
The scenario now is a scrappy win against Wigan.
Yeah, we need a win. We need a scrappy win. And then just get players back up to sharpness. Potts is nowhere near. Brown, to me, doesn't look anywhere near. Barkey doesn't. Obviously, Fisher. And then get Bayliss settled in, get Green settled in. Because that can go 2 ways. That could turn quite nasty, I think, quite quickly.
Yeah.
But if you get a win this weekend, then things might start looking different. So it's an important game this weekend.
Big. Very big.
Especially because they'll be banged up for it as well with their signings. And they won last week, so it's a tough game.
Yeah. It'll be... I mean, I've said scrappy win is ideal, but I can't see it happening.
Yeah, I mean, it's very hard to call, actually, because I've got no idea how we'll line up, given the options available. I know how they'll line up, 4-2-3-1, probably Kiefer Moore up front, causes problems. But last season they came here, didn't they, and we absolutely battered them on the break.
Yeah.
So, 4-0, I think.
But then we tried playing Millwall
4-0
season.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if you heard the pod the other day, but we just can't, you can't press a team like Millwall do when they play it long. So, but I can't see Paul Cook changing the way he plays with the profile.
I think that's been one of the criticisms of him, hasn't it, in the past?
Yeah,
is that he's...
that is that's his main sort of thing. Is 4-2-3-1, and the fullbacks provide the width. So Barkey should start and cause them problems.
I wouldn't be surprised to see Bowden.
Yeah, I'd hope Bowden would start as well.
Yeah.
Barkey on the left, maybe. Alan Brown behind Maguire. So, be a good game anyway.
Yeah, no, I say I'm looking forward to it. I am, but the old Jake has come back, where I just can't help but feel a sense of pessimism about the game.
I think the first 10 minutes is important.
It already feels like we're in bad form, doesn't it?
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's been one game.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. It does feel like that. And the first sort of 10 minutes is massive, I'd say.
You just gotta hope that the players want it as much as we hope they want it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we could quite easily end up being in the same position that we were at the start of the last season.
Yeah. I still maintain that with the players we've got available now, right, I think we will be still fairly strong. But
yeah, I think we've not alluded to it. We've said in the past, haven't we, that the majority of the players, or all the players we've got now at the club, are largely the same ones that took us to joint 7th with Aston Villa last season.
Yeah.
Now, so we ended up finishing 14th, and the end of the season was a bit of a shit show, but it shows that there's still ability in the squad. And I think people writing... Pardon?
I think you got to write off the end of last season as a bit of a...
Yeah, I would, yeah. I've seen a lot of people linking it, but for me, it's got nothing to do with
it. It depends, though, because if we do end up not winning the next, say, 5 or 6 games, then could you not say that there is a link back to last season, and that you could argue that there's the poor form's carried over?
No, not for me. Just don't see how it. Just don't understand how that would work.
I think we've had. I don't know if you can talk about form when there's been a 5-month break in which we've had a strong pre-season for the most part. I mean, there are a few dodgy aspects of the pre-season in terms of the games themselves, but I think with that and the length of time between now and the end of last season.
Yeah, and I just think we were decimated at the end of last season.
Yeah. Knackered
and decimated with injuries and form. So I just wouldn't really link it together, but I've seen a lot of people linking it.
Well, let's see what happens over the next few weeks then. Let's hope that we don't end up spiralling out of control, so to speak.
Yeah.
So come January then, how do you think we'll be faring? Do you think we'll be middle of the road? Do you think we'll be down the bottom?
I'd say
January, I can't see us being any higher than 16th.
Okay. I still think it's hard to say before the league settles down, because there's just so many unknowns this season in the league.
Well, with the squad we've got at the moment,
for me, the one known is that every club has strengthened.
Yeah, but every club has signed players, but I don't know if they've all. I've never seen, because I've seen someone today tell me Luton and Barnsley are going to finish above us because they've signed 10 players each. Only 2 of them players have played in the Championship. So that's very unknown for me. And they've both got managers who have never managed in the Championship. So stuff like that could go either way for a lot of clubs.
I think Luton are going to finish top half. I've just got a weird feeling about that. But I don't know about Barnsley.
I'm almost certain Barnsley will.
I don't know. I like Barnsley because my mate works there, so I want him to get promoted. But no idea how half of their... Well, none of their players have played at this level before, who they've signed. So it's a complete unknown. And there's a lot of...
You got to remember as well, it is a long, tough season, especially when the winter comes in and the cup games start coming and you get the Tuesday, Saturday, or with Sky as it is now, Wednesday, Saturday, Saturday, whatever the hell it is.
Yeah.
It does become a long, hard slog, and then you take into account suspensions, injuries.
Yeah.
Like you say, there's a lot of squads that have players that haven't played at this level before, or have played very few games at this level before. So, suppose time like that will be a test for them and the manager.
Yeah, and I think I regard the managers as bigger or as big as the players as well. Even the likes of Jonathan Woodgate, Graham Jones, the Swansea manager, I can't remember his name.
Steve Cooper.
Yeah. Grant McCann at Hull.
I won't be surprised if Graham Jones ends up going soon.
Why?
Well, they've not really had a good time under him, have they?
What, Nathan Jones or Graham Jones?
Stokes manager.
Yeah,
that's Nathan Jones, isn't
Nathan Jones, yeah.
Yeah, I got him mixed up on another pod as well.
Yeah, he's another unknown. And then Sheffield Wednesday don't have a manager. Derby have got a new manager. Brentford's fairly new. So there's still a lot of...
Still got an interim coach as well, haven't they?
Yeah. Sheffield Wednesday have.
Sheffield, yeah.
Yeah. So we've got a settled squad and a settled manager, so that gives us some sort of advantage in my eyes anyway. I know a lot of people will disagree, but yeah.
I agree. I think it'd be our push to disagree with that, to be honest.
But I just think some people mistake a lot of signings as being a lot of good signings. Which is natural, obviously, but there's just a lot of unknowns, basically.
Yeah, it's. I mean, it always is, isn't it? But it's definitely going to be interesting over the next 9 months how things pan out. See who ends up where.
Yeah.
I have to say, it pains me to say it, and I put them down in my prediction piece, but I fancy Blackburn to do quite well.
Yeah, I'm not sure they'll quite push for top 6.
I think they'll be there or thereabouts.
I don't really rate the individual players. Like, I don't rate the keeper. Well, Walton's okay, but he's okay. Then you got Nyambi, who's okay at right back. Lenihan's top quality. Yeah, Greg again. He's not played for a year. And then I don't really rate the midfielders. Bradley Johnson's bank average. Smallwood, Elliot Bennett.
Is Jack Rodwell still there?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure
don't get me wrong. I think they'll be top half, but I'm not sure they're that good. And Tony Mowbray's just a bit.
Yeah, I think for me the one weakness that they would have is the manager.
Yeah, but they should do okay. But yeah, there's a lot of clubs like that who've probably had a bit of a go and might not get anywhere. But,
well, we'll just have to wait and see. I think unless you two have got anything else to add, we'll call that a pod.
No, I think that's me. That's me done.
Yeah, same.
Got nothing to add.
Cool. Right. Cheers, boys.
Nice one.
Thanks for listening to episode 10 of the From the Finney podcast. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you didn't think that we were peddling nonsense. If you did enjoy it, you can subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and all the other major podcast outlets. And if you could leave us a review on Apple, that would be mega. If you aren't already, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Just search for From the Finney and you'll find us. And don't forget to keep checking out the website as well. We're going to be publishing match previews regularly now that the season's, pretty much in full flow, and various other content pieces as well. So keep checking that on the social channels. Yeah, cheers, lads. Good to have you both back. Take care.
Nice one, lads. See you on Sunday.
Yeah, see you in a bit.